Amartya Sen, if I may start with you. Do you believe, as somebody who has long been a commentator on India's embrace of democracy, do you believe that our democracy, with all its enshrined principles of equality and liberty and egalitarianism, is alive and well? Or do you worry that in some ways our institutions, while being very noisy, are somewhat not as safe as they used to be?
I think our institutions are as safe as we make them to be. I think one of the points that Ambedkar, who was very involved in the process of the Constitution making, said that any success of a democratic constitution really turns on our insisting on our rights and exercising them. He had that phrase about educate, organize, agitate. That's a part of democracy too. And I think there's no point in blaming the institutions. I think we have a fairly good institutional structure. It's the exercise of that, how the legislature process goes, how the elections go, what the judiciary does, which is one of the big issues right now.
Is there anything that worries you today as an Indian?
Pardon?
Is there anything that worries you today? This is a country with a collective imagination, a collective consciousness. Is there anything that concerns you today?
Well, there are many things that concern me. I think I'd say there are two concerns that are generic. One is that India, while it's a democracy, have always had and continues to have some people who are privileged and many who are not. And that could be minority or a majority in the context of poverty, bad health care, undernourishment. It could well be a majority of families that are affected. When it comes to the rights of minorities, whether religious minority or minority in lifestyles like being gay, for example, now criminalization of that certainly would be a violation of what we would understand to be the protection rights of the minorities. And this is important because when a court takes the view, as it seems to have, that it was for the majority, namely the parliament, to set it right, that seems to me to be a basic confusion. I say that with due respect. I was never trained as a lawyer, though I am a member of the Harvard Faculty of Law and do teach it. It does seem to me to say that the majority, if the majority, which is what the parliament is, unless they stand up for the minorities, then that's not going to be accepted. That seemed to me to be a peculiar position to take, and goes absolutely everything that John Stuart Mill was trying to say on liberty. At about the same time, when India was passing this section about criminalizing gay sex.
So the Supreme Court verdict, in a sense, seems to underline majoritarianism to you, Amartya Sen, which you believe goes against the grain of democracy, because democracy is not about majoritarianism. This is, of course, the verdict on 377.
Yeah, if I could just say the two things, that the issue of protecting the underprivileged and might be oppressed, given the nature of the social values of the majority that might be. And a minority had a right to stand up against it, and the court had a duty to pursue that.
Yes.
Whether it's majority or minority, like in the case of the poor or the undernourished, that is a very important issue, even though they are big. On the other hand, when it's minority, there is a further issue, which was really the concern with John Stuart Mill I was referring to.